off on the big boy.
Like something out of a steampunk novel, the big boy stands at 17 feet tall, 133 feet long, weighing 1.2 million pounds. Its tenor holds 6,100 gallons of fuel and 25,000 gallons of water. She produces 7,000 horsepower at 40 miles an hour and can run at 65 miles an hour. Simply known as the Big Boy. American steam at its finest.
What is Crystal Texas? What is Cheyenne? You have one. Obviously,
How much fuel does it use to just sit through the island?
oh, I can use that.
Carry all kinds of stuff.
We just use basically floating fuel just to keep it at that.
Ring the bell.
Can't hear that, something wrong.
You can feel that on your chest.
Even the build up to it.
What's your name?
Jim Leonard.
Jim.
I am a steam crew conductor. I live in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Hi, Jim. So this is like a goodwill tour for the 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike, correct?
Right, yes.
And you guys are making a huge loop through the.
Right. What we're doing is we're going over the entire 32,000 miles of the UP system. We have been to Ogden and back. We have been to the Midwest, up to Duluth on the Great Lakes, Chicago, Milwaukee, Des Moines, back to Omaha. This trip is what we call the West-Southwest Tour. Started in Cheyenne, September 27th, went west to California, turned south to Arizona, New Mexico, across Texas, and here we are in Little Rock, Arkansas. We'll be back ready to go tomorrow. We'll leave, head west towards Van Horn, Kansas City, Denver, and back to Cheyenne on 28th of November, the day before Thanksgiving.
Excellent. Now, check me on my facts here, because there were 25 of the big boys made
Yes.
between 1941 and 1945.
That is correct.
And what was the purpose for making such a large steam engine?
The Union Pacific was always interested in steam and speed. And I say speed, normally an engine this big was sometimes referred to as a drag engine. You drag coal around, or you drag ore around at 10, 15, 20 miles an hour. The Union Pacific was interested in moving freight at upwards of 55 miles an hour. So this engine was built to accommodate that. Now, with World War II, it proved itself over and over again, pulling vast quantities of freight and two trains.
So on a flat straightaway, how fast can this thing actually get up to?
This engine would probably be capable of doing speeds of 70 miles an hour. Yeah. Although we're running it now at 45 or 50 till we break the engine in from its rebuild.
So it took you, what, 2 years to rebuild
It
it?
took us about a year, about 6 months preparatory work out in Pomona, California at the Rail Giants Museum where the engine was at. We then brought the engine back to Cheyenne. We had about 3.5 years of work on it.
That's impressive. Now, is this going to be put in service?
Well, in service is what you see right here. I mean, it's going to get around. We still got about The Northwest District you do next year. We'll do that, but it's basically going to be in its present mode like this. It would not probably haul any freight. Outside chance, we did on one of its first trips haul about 25 carloads of sand down from Cheyenne to Northwest. Had a request for that service unit. That's the only freight it's doing. Otherwise, it's been fully passenger.
I noticed that there's a diesel on the back there. What's the reason for that?
The reason for the diesel is basically if anything would happen to the steam engine, we'd have to get it out of the way, get it on the main line, get it off the main line. That diesel would shove us out of the way. Also, diesels have what steam engines don't have called dynamic braking, and it's just another system of brakes. We use it mainly if we're going downhill, a long grade. You can have it, you turn on its dynamic brakes, and we just sail on down the hill. So, but it's not being used for power.
Double boiler, right?
Right. Yeah.
Seems like I read somewhere that the big boy would produce like 7,000 horsepower at 35 miles an hour.
7,000 or about 41 to 43.
What's your pressure?
Yeah, at 300 pounds of pressure.
300 pounds of pressure. Two boilers, and it was originally coal.
Well, let me clarify something.
Okay.
It only has one boiler.
One boiler. Okay. And
Is this considered a low pressure boiler?
At 300 pounds is not low pressure. So,
400 of
the crew that runs in it, everybody that runs with the train, they travel with the train around the country.
we travel with the train.
And you also do all the servicing on the train.
Yes, we do.
And it's just darn impressive.
Well, thank you.
I
Well,
wonder-
presently what we're doing right now, you can't see it. We actually have one man underneath the engine doing some inspection work. We're actually watering the engine up now. We carry 77,000 gallons of water with us.
Like a swimming pool.
Big swimming pool, yeah.
Yeah, 77,000.
But it burns 200 gallons of water a mile. 200 gallons.
Here's a question I've always been curious about. Why isn't the water recaptured? Or can it?
Well, okay, let's clarify something. The railroads tried recapturing the steam that was not used on the tractors, although most steam in America on their steam engines, you were getting a good, shall we say, burn for the coal or oil you were burning, and so we didn't even think about recapturing the steam and recycling. South Africans on their railroads had phenomenally long distance to go to get decent water in the desert. They did have, most of their steam engines had great long tenders that were nothing but recycled steam. Now, on a cost basis, a basis for how much these things weigh, American railroads just didn't think it was necessary.
There's plenty of water
Yeah,
around
there's
the
plenty of water. South Africa, of course, a different scenario, across the Namibia desert, things of that sort. They did have recycling.
Okay, so it can be done. It's just we don't.
Can
need,
be done.
We don't need to do it.
We just don't need to do it.
Wow. And we don't do anything small, do we?
What, you said 200 gallons per mile of water. What?
About 20 to 35 gallons a mile.
You're burning oil now?
We're
Not
burning
coal.
oil. We're burning recycled crankcase oil. So what's in your car or your truck now, it could liable end up in the fuel tank.
So I go down to Jiffy Lube, and then you guys go down the track.
Right. We have an outfit that buys that lube, that oil from, be it Jiffy Lube or diesel locomotive plants, whatever, and they recycle it. They clean all the water, the metal, everything out of it, and that's what we burn it next.
Clean a lot out of my engine. I don't want to take up any more time because I know everybody.
We can see the inside of it, right?
See the inside of the engine?
No, not the engine, but one of the cars.
Yes, that's the experience car down there. They'll let you in there. There's a brief history of the UP and everyday workings of the UP.
On behalf of Dad's Train Room, that's our YouTube channel. If you ever look us up, it's really bad jokes and it's a lot of train fun.
All right, that's
But
good. I like
thank
a
you
lot
very
of
much.
trains. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do You know how a conductor becomes so good at his job?
I give up.
Training.
Training.
Oh,
And the jokes don't
see,
get
you
any
get
better.
bad jokes.
Thank you very much.
York. They were meant to be called the Wasatch class for the Wasatch Mountains east of Ogden. One of the employees at Alco, when they were building it, said, "Man, that is one big boy." They wrote it in chalk in the front. It never was called the Wasatch class. Unofficially and officially, these 25 locomotives are and were the big boy. The United States in 1941 was not at war, but the depression was over, business was picking up. We were hauling munitions from supplies to the east. For Great Britain, for example, many people said, "Stay out of that war, that's your problem, not ours." Then the Japanese made a mistake of bombing us at Pearl Harbor on December 6th. The next day we were at war with Japan. 2 days later, Germany declared war on us, and we were in the war, like it or not. Those 25 big boys in freight service, 70-mile-an-hour locomotives, 125-car trains, ran back and forth between Ogden and Cheyenne in freight service throughout the war and beyond. The last ones ran into the 1950s. I think one ran actually in 1961, but they were retired as they wore out or needed shopping. Most of them were scrapped. 8 of them were saved. They went to different museums and parks around the country. This one went to Pomona, California. It was stuffed and mounted there for over 50 years, never turned a wheel. In connection with the 150th anniversary, they had an idea. If we were to restore another steam locomotive, how about a big boy? It'll never happen, but how about that? As the 150th anniversary got closer, Union Pacific said, "Why not?" They made a trade. Diesel locomotive, restored diesel, went to Pomona. They took the big boy back to Cheyenne, completely rebuilt it from the rail on up, and of course it went to Ogden, Utah with the 844, the only steam locomotive, the last steam locomotive Union Pacific bought, the only major railroad steam locomotive that was never ever retired. Those 2 locomotives double-headed out to Ogden. They were part of the ceremony on May 9th in Ogden, witnessed by thousands of people. And of course, the next day at Promontory Summit, they have the National Park Service, the 150th anniversary of the Golden Spike ceremony. The 844, we carried passengers from Ogden to Evanston, Wyoming. People paid $3,000 for a coach seat, $5,000 for a dome seat. It was a fundraiser. There was a family, for example, of 4, a mom, dad, 2 kids. They paid $20,000 to ride behind 2 steam locomotives, 75 miles, 3 hours, out to Evanston, Wyoming, had a box lunch and a bus ride back to Ogden, and had the time of their life. Like all of us who were lucky enough to be on that thing did. There were 4 of us who were conductors on that. How cool is that? We're all volunteers. We've been part of this, most of us, on and off and so on. I was with them for a month. From Cheyenne from Sacramento to Ogden, in Des Moines on August 1st, and now this last lap here in Little Rock to Kansas City, and then the training's done for the year. Locomotive will go back to Cheyenne for the winter. The cars, the wonderful examples of the streamlined cars used to run on UP Streamliners. The Challenger, for example, named after an all-coach economy streamliner train that used to run between Chicago and LA before Amtrak. Over the Northwestern and UP. the Nystrom is part of the steam program. Howard Cloud down there, named after a great railroad artist. I'm sure some of it, more than one of his original paintings hangs in the corporate office in Chicago and Omaha. And you've seen him in railroad magazines and books and so on and so on. Union Pacific has said, keep next summer open. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to run again. The big boy never, ever, ever, ever has been in Little Rock before. It didn't run here. It was a different railroad at the time. But here you're able to see it, smell it, and once in a while he blows the whistle. How cool is that? Enjoy the history car.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.